to the Warzone Amateur Hour podcast.
Okay, welcome back to the Warzone Amateur Hour podcast. This is episode number 106. We are well beyond the era of Warzone 1 now. We are fully engaged in this conflict we call Warzone 2. As we talked many weeks ago, we're unfamiliar with the map, with the game mechanics and all that. I feel after this week, I am fully immersed now in this game for good and for bad, which really is what we're going to dive into this week, talk a lot about the good and the bad. But before we get into those details and into those updates, into the happenings going on in the community, I'm going to turn to a man I've gone to battle with quite a bit lately, which I'm very happy to say, and that is the 10InchCowboy. And I got to ask you, Cowboy, how was your week this week in Warzone 2.0?
Well, thank you for that introduction. I noticed that interesting pause you had right off the top. Thought there may have been a technical difficulty, but there wasn't. It was just your style. And
psychological difficulty, maybe.
Yes, that's good. Psychological difficulty. I have a lot of psychological difficulties on this show. But, and while I play the game, frankly, and I guess that'll lead me right as an arrow into what I'm about to talk about, I've been having a rough time. What started out as a exciting, prolific, death-killing machine, the 10InchCowboy has quickly receded. Some would say shrunk into a smaller man, and now I am no longer, let's say, winning gunfights and playing my best games. It's been very frustrating, not ever more frustrating than when I'm playing duos, whether it's with friend of the pod Sparks or yourself or whomever. Duos, I've basically resigned to being the worst mode ever because I just literally
wow.
It's so I need strong players in quads to carry me. I'm just gonna say it because I'm not winning a lot of gunfights. But with the negative out of the way, I have, as you were hinting at, become a lot more accustomed to the map. Actually, today when I dropped in, picking a spot where to drop, and I was like, okay, I know this area, I know that area. Oh, I know, and then all of a sudden it was like, wow, I think I have an understanding of the entire map. I know exactly what each place looks like, feels like, been there, done that. So in one way, it's getting better. In many more ways, it's still the same death spiral that I go into a lot, but it has been fun. You know, it's interesting that we had all these options with the last map and the last playlists. You know, we had Rebirth, we had Caldera, we had Fortune's Keep, 3 separate maps with their own different playlists essentially on each of those. And now we have one map. And with you can play with different players, and there's the unhinged, but we got one map, and it is still, I would say, engaging, exciting, different. So I guess that's something to be proud of, and I will pass it to you. How was your week in the Warzone?
Well, yes, indeed. Right there with you. Some pieces, of this puzzle starting to fit into place, as you said. Starting to know the map better, know where we like, know where we don't like. Drops, picking better, I think, drops to set us up for success, knowing where to navigate. We've seen to kind of when we navigate through center of the map, maybe avoiding observatory or that said. But yeah, my week in the Warzone, I think week over week, my enjoyment level is going up a notch or two each week. I'm better understanding how to play, how to handle my guns. I'm tweaking my builds. We talked last week about this attachment tuning, finding these sweet spots. Well, fortunately, the people in the community that make the builds, recommend the builds, are finding those sweet spots. And, helping out the little freshman pipsqueaks like me figure out, where to dial those in. And I'm reaping the benefits of it. Just like last week, just still been rocking that Kazdov 762. And then I got the Fennec. I think I'm ready to maybe move away from the Fennec just because outside of maybe a solos or a duos, that small magazine capacity is it's leaving a lot to be desired. I mean, I like the lethalness of the Fennec, but might be looking to the Lockman sub. With that said, I know last week you closed your eyes, you imagined some guns in your head, you did some describing. Did you do some searching this week? And more importantly, did you do some maybe finding? Where you at with your weaponry?
So I am having issues with so as you know, I'm a sniper kind of guy. I like to snipe. I like having the long range power. I'm still trying to figure out what sniper I need to get and what's the proper term for the drop off that the bullet has? The
bullet drop.
Bullet drop. So each gun seems to have its own different bullet drop. I guess that makes sense. It's how it is in reality, I would imagine. And I'm missing a lot of my snipes, the ground loot weapons that I pick up because I don't fucking know off the top of my head how to, assess the drop off. So my sniping game is weak, to be honest. And I need to figure out, I want to get that, it's like the 80 SRX 80, I think it is, or something along those lines. It's the 80. It's like what people are saying is the meta sniper. Well, I got to unlock, one gun and then another gun and to get that one. So I'm still a little far from getting, I guess, what people would say is the meta sniper right now. I'm still buying the SPX 50 and using that, which I think I've gotten a little more tuned in. That MCRP, I think it is 300, which is pretty typical ground loot, is a fun sniper as well. But again, these bullet drops, I'm not sure exactly where I should be aiming, especially at longer distances. I've also, and I want to ask you about this in the community at large. I don't know if it's like a ping issue that I'm having, or latency or some shit with my internet, which I'm not sure. But today, and I clipped it, and I'll show you this clip. This guy is not very far away from me. I'm standing above him. He's less than 100 meters away from me. I mean, he takes a big part of my scope as I'm looking down it with the MCRP 300. I'm aimed right at his chest. I'm not trying to, have a nice cheeky little headshot there. I'm aimed right at his chest, crosshairs, pull the trigger. It doesn't register. And I'm like, what in the fuck is going on here? And then that happened twice in a row. I clipped it. I'll share it with you. And you can see the second shot. Yeah, might have missed. But the first shot, I know it was right on him. Didn't register. So I'm all over the place with my sniper game. I'm frustrated. I'm a little lost. In regards, let's put the snipers aside. What guns?
We need to put them in the forefront here because there's a lot to unpack there that I don't want to get left behind as this traveling circus continues to ramble on here. But first off, it's the SPX 80. It sounds like that's what you're trying to level and build out. Is that correct?
Yes, I think that's what I'm trying to get to. I have to unlock several weapons to get to that.
Well, I've heard. So, like, to back us up really to the doorstep of sniping. When we first did our first impressions of Warzone 2, we kind of declared it, this is the sniper meta. That's what's going on right now. But unfortunately for a player like you, a sniper enthusiast, it actually, I got to say, I retract that statement, Your Honor. And I actually say the opposite, is that sniping is not the move right now.
Yeah.
And it's because they've decided... They gave everyone lower health in Warzone 2, which I don't know if we've established that off the get-go. So, like, the base health with plates in Warzone 1, I believe, was 250. In Warzone 2, I believe it is 200 now. So it has been scaled down, which is another topic we're going to dive into. But that said, despite that, they made it so sniping, I believe the Victus is the only sniper right now that will do, on a fully plated player, a one-shot headshot down. I think that's the only one. So that's the reason why sniping, not a lot of the expert, sweatlords aren't running them. Not a lot of players in the Warzone are. It's because of that. So, like, it's a two-pronged thing, I guess. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. A is, I don't know if you're aware of that. And B is, if you're going to level a sniper, the Victus is what I would go after just because it seems to have that ability that the others do not for whatever reason.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's what I should be going after. The only experience I think I've had with that is ground loot, and I haven't had a good experience with the ground loot, that weapon. It's called the Vic. What is it called?
I think it's that Vic. It's the new one as part of the Battle Pass.
Victus,
I think.
I think it's Victus. Yeah, I want to say like Victor or Victus, something like that. Yes.
The Victus XMR.
Yes. So
is the correct name.
Victus is the one that I've used probably the least. which it sounds like I need to get more in tune with. I'm wondering if I actually even have that unlocked, and I'm wondering what the steps are to get that if I don't have it unlocked. I think friend of the pod, Pole, has been using that also. That's what he unlocked. But yes, that is the one headshot down situation. But if my memory serves me right, which it rarely does, I think the ADS on that weapon is very slow, and that's why I've shied away from it.
But I mean, so you're going to stick with a sniper where you're going to have to hit 2 shots minimum to down a player?
You know, it's a good point. I'm lost, and with the new drop-off situation, headshots are fucking hard. I feel like I've only got a couple of them, and it's been tough. So, yeah, let's stop talking about the snipers. I'm starting to get into a bad mood. Let's move to maybe the AR LMG.
Well, we will, but first we're going to answer the question there, which is how do you unlock the Victus XMR? The answer is through the Battle Pass, which was a topic I wanted to kind of discuss these past few weeks, but it got swept along, and it seemed like you really, up until maybe a few days ago, had no fucking idea how this brand new Battle Pass works. So I guess the follow-up is, do you now understand it, or should we dive into that, or what's going on with this Battle Pass?
What I think I've understood over the last several days, discussing it with you, as you get more and more irritated with me still not understanding it, is that it's a token-based system. Through the XP, you somehow acquire these tokens, which are in the bottom right-hand corner when you're looking at the Battle Pass tab. So we're there. Yes. You have the tokens. I don't know how to spend the tokens, and I guess you have to use 4 tokens to complete each level of the pass. Is that correct?
5.
Okay. But you don't get to pick and choose, right? So, like, you can't, like, choose one pass and then, or can you? I'm not sure. I don't get it.
Yeah, so in the previous Battle Pass, it was purely linear. You went one step at a time. You progressed through the Battle Pass one step at a time. Everyone progressed through the Battle Pass the exact same way. When they did Battle Pass based unlocks, you just had to get to like what level 30, whatever. It was level by level, fucking Mortal Kombat, making your way up that little elevator one at a time. Well, now they changed it from that into more of like it's almost like a choose your own adventure, choose your own path. But really, you kind of, in the end, it seems like it's an illusion sense of choice. But essentially, you start at the bottom left of like the Battle Pass map, and then each kind of, they call them A1, 2, whatever, they have fucking routes. And so, yes, if you want to go for like something down that left tree, you kind of have to connect the branch. So to go back to like the Victus, how you unlock it in the Battle Pass is apparently that is in sector A7. And so to get to A7, you have to unlock, I guess the quickest route is to do A1, A2, and then A4. And within each of these zones, yes, there's 4 little sub unlocks that you each use a token for. And then once you do those 4, the big one, in theory, usually it's like an operator or a blueprint, that then becomes available. You use that 5th token, you complete that section, and then the one touching it then becomes available. But there becomes points where you have to kind of choose left or right. But again, in the end, if you complete the Battle Pass, you complete all the fucking zones in the end.
Got it. So that's why it doesn't automatically apply the tokens, because at some point there's a fork in the Battle Pass road where you kind of have to navigate where you want to go.
I mean, right off the get-go, after you kind of do the first one, you got to choose, am I going to go now to the left side? And the other thing is, previously, it was like this weird, like, economy of fucking scale, self-sustaining thing where if you got 1,000 CP to buy the Battle Pass and you progressed through it, you could undoubtedly get another 1,000 to buy the next one. So you would like kind of like continually earn enough to do that. Now it seems, I did the math, and I think I have to complete this entire Battle Pass in order to just have just enough CP to do it now in Season 2 to unlock that one. So it's kind of a different thing going on here.
Yeah, they've kind of closed the water valve on our little free farm that we had been growing in.
Yes, so that is the context and the answers in terms of how do you unlock the Victus? How does the Battle Pass work? But I guess to bring us all back, you don't want to talk about sniping. My advice to like put a button on this conversation is I would put the snipers in the closet for the time being. Let's move on to AR, LMG land until either they address this headshot thing or something changes. But again, right now, it's just not the meta, which I know maybe is a bummer. Or maybe when you get the Victus, then you do that. But that said, what else are you working with weaponry-wise?
So I think I don't have all of these completely unlocked yet or anything, but I do have people that will drop them for me. Personally, I think my favorite is the RPK, which is, I believe, in that LMG space. The RPK is a good. I just like the way it hits. It seems to have a little bit lower recoil than the Cast-Off 7.62, which is your beloved AK. So yeah, I've been using the RPK. I also have been using the Fennec when people will drop from the Fennec. It's a good gun. I personally need more than 45 rounds because I fucking miss a lot of my shots. So, but the Fennec is a good little weapon there. So yeah, I've been kind of rolling with the RPK and the Fennec. I had lofty goals of unlocking the P890 handgun to get the dual wielding handguns, but again, I haven't quite gotten them leveled to get to that point yet, and it's not the same only having one as opposed to the two. So I haven't been rolling with that single handgun all that much. I'm trying to think of other weapons. I have been using a lot of the Vaznev, which is like a typical ground loot weapon. I've heard that that's really good sniper support. Friend of the pod Sparks was telling me about that, so I may try to. And I think the Vaznev, because it's such common ground loot, I have that pretty leveled up. I think it's actually fully leveled in my loadout, so I might try to build a sniper support loadout for that. But that's kind of where I'm at. I'm not in love with anything. I'm trying to think of the things that I absolutely hate, which I don't know. I mean, I have the TAC is also good. It has a little bit too much recoil for me, especially with the ground loot varietals. I just miss a lot of my longer range shots, which is a pain in the ass. But I'll pass this to you. What are you working with?
Well, to go back to the TAC, there's the TAC 56 and the TAC V. The TAC V definitely has some recoil. I really like the way they've balanced it. It's similar to kind of how the with the old classic Modern Warfare 19
AMAX
AR, the AMAX. I think it's kind of a similar vein to that, as it jumps more, but it packs a wallop. So like the pros and the sweat lords out there that can handle that thing, they're doing a lot of damage. I'm with you, too much for me. But when it comes to the TAC 56, I would recommend have one of our friends buy you their custom one, because that, when built out, kitted out, is one of the lowest recoil guns in the game. One of the absolute meta ARs, arguably up there. But in terms of what you're laying out there, I love to hear it. It sounds like you're chasing the right guns. The RPK definitely is consensus, like top long-range weapon there. It's an LMG. It's in the Kazdov family tree. Same with the Vaznev. So seems like you and I are really sniffing around that Kazdov tree there, because I got the 7.62. You like the RPK, the Vaznev. I really like the Vaznev as well. I'm tempted to maybe run with that as an SMG. But good stuff there. So I think, once you kind of step away from the sniping space, dive into these ARs, LMGs a little bit more, I think you'll have some more success. But speaking of success, we talked about your quote unquote clutch on the first episode, which wasn't a clutch, but your boy Tron this week, banner moment, should have fucking clipped it too. I'm an idiot for not, but quad situation, 3 of our teammates dead. Who clutched it out? It was the Tronster. Do you remember this match?
I do. I think I do, but I think that you should tell your version of the story.
Well, we were in Al Mazrah City, kind of staying ahead of the circle on various tall buildings, and then finally it was pushing us away from that. I think you and a few of our other teammates stayed kind of low to the next building, where I made a really far float and literally had to do float as far as I could, and then cut my chute and grab the edge of this gas station, pulled myself to a gas station, essentially in the center of all the fucking action at the end of the game.
Did we buy you back, or were we all floating? And
I had previously, but at this, we were all together, and then I kind of decided I was going to make this float, and it worked out for me. It didn't work out for the rest of the team. Remember, there was 2 guys in the gas station. I set claymores out, or proxies outside of their door, but then the circle rotated the other direction. I kind of had to make this crazy play through the streets of Al Mazrah City, got some dope late kills, got a clutch. It felt fucking good. And we've been racking up wins this week, and it's kind of cool. Like when I had to take a step back, I'm like, dude, we're winning at a pretty hefty clip, and this ain't no like rebirth wins. We're on the big boy map, you know?
Yeah, that actually, well, congratulations. It reminded me of something that friend of the pod, Scared of Clowns, wanted to bring up, which was quite the opposite scenario, which happened to us this week, and I'd like to hear your defense. So, Scared of Clowns and I were in a tent situation, late circle, less than 20 people, I would imagine, very late circle. We had been looting and moving, and it was a brutal move to get to these tents, to get to the buy. We bought you back ahead of another member in the party because we were playing quads, and you were dropping in. You pulled your chute. You were flying very high for a while, to the point where I forgot we even bought you back. Like, you weren't involved in the game. You were just floating high, trying to figure out what was going on. It seemed like Scared of Clowns and I get into a gunfight where he's down. I res him, come over, team pushes, and it just was one of those where we had just lost the fight. And if we had had our third member that we bought back with us, we would have, overcome that and probably gotten a victory.
Oh.
And what you were still, so high in the air, no one could see you. And it had been several minutes. It wasn't like we just bought you back. It was like you were really I just want to know what you were waiting for, why you didn't drop with us. Because what happened is then you drop in, go to a roof, there's a team there dead within 30 seconds of getting down. And it would have been nice if you dropped with us and we worked it as a unit to try to secure the victory. But you were in like self-preservation mode, I feel like. So I'm just wondering what your mindset is there late game when you don't drop with your team.
Well, I don't know how accurate that context was. I was bought back, yes. It was extremely late, literally like maybe second to last circle, perhaps. And it was a part of the map where there was nothing, maybe 5 buildings, and then desert. And I immediately look down at where you guys are. I hear somebody saying, shush, 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 quiet. There's people all around me. So, yeah, sure, I could have fucking dropped in and then died immediately. But to act like I was the difference maker, no, you got murked to shit, and then he got fucking murked to shit. It wasn't like, oh, there was one guy left, one shot. I'm pretty sure there was at least 2 or so people. So what I was doing was what I see a lot of teammates do in late game, is you just kind of float, and it's fucking snowball's chance in hell to win that match either way. But the hope is like, okay, maybe I can float, hold this out. Maybe the circle rotates. I can get on a roof, get a gun, maybe make a play, try and do something, which I actually did. I landed on a fucking roof, picked up a sniper, downed a motherfucker, and then, missed my next 2 shots and got murdered. But like, it's a little fucking revisionist history if you guys are all chatting like, oh, you should have dropped in, you helped us out, dude.
I don't know. I guess it's a conversation, for gameplay style, morality, kind of like in those veins of like the thematics of like, how do you approach your team and like help. But no, we'll leave it at that. We all were there.
I mean, if you guys had said ping like, hey, we got a gun for you. Here's a plate. No, it was like literally there was a team pushing you as I'm like,
you were in the sky for a while though. It wasn't like we bought you.
Yeah, I fucking hung out, dude.
Yeah.
Why am I going to go to the ground? I'm going to fucking milk the shit out of this.
But it wasn't like it was hot and crazy when we bought you. If you would have come right down, we would have been together and we could have, it was,
okay.
You
so
were
next time
I'll
just drop in and fucking die with you guys, and then we can have that solidarity, it sounds like.
I think you're compressing the timeline. We died minutes after we bought you. It wasn't like we bought you and then we died. It was like there was a lot.
Got it.
Scared of Clowns knows
well,
what I'm saying.
sometimes I like when the guys are in the sky scouting it out, letting me know what's going on.
Did you let us know?
I couldn't see fucking anything, but yeah, I was pinging people that were coming in from the other side. But yeah, I don't know.
All right, let's move on.
All right. But yeah, that said, the other thing in terms of this week learning in this game, not learning, but definitely being reaffirmed here is, we talked about they've lowered the base health. And it certainly felt with this time to kill. Like, the TTK in this game is a little outrageous. And I don't know if you said it on the podcast or someone else said it, but the line between like the TTK and multiplayer and Warzone is a lot blurrier than I would have fucking ever thought so.
You mean the in multiplayer you die insanely fast, and in this one you die slow, or what do you say?
No, I mean you die fucking damn near, feels like almost just as fast.
Yeah.
In Warzone too at times.
Yeah. There is a rumor out there, which I'm pretty sure that you retweeted. Do you want to go over that? How there's a rumor that sometimes the plating isn't actually providing you protection?
Well, yeah, there's clips floating around of really bizarre instances of like what seems like a fully plated player takes 3 shots and they're dead. Or I saw one where the guy took like a few pistol shots and then a melee and it died. And then it's just like dumbfounding. Like, what? How did that happen? And one of the theories that I saw on Reddit, the Call of the Warzone subreddit, was they think it's like a UI just glitch within the game where when you plate up, the game's not actually registering those plates, that additional base health that you're adding to your player. And so that's why you die instantly. Again, these are all theories. There's differing opinions, but like whether it's intentional or not, the TTK is insane. I don't understand why they sped it up when they made all these efforts in the late years of Warzone 1 to like raise the TTK, to introduce iron trials. We kept saying like, oh, this feels like these are like beta testing, the TTK that'll be in Warzone 2. They got to make it slower, or at least, that new increased one we had at the end of Warzone 1 era. But no, they've gone back to like fast as fuck.
Yes, and it's ironic because the sniping is not. They've made... Why wouldn't you have the sniper be a lethal long range? Because that is arguably more of a skilled position. It seems like a little bit of
that's a fair point.
Out of whack situation.
Yeah, it's not lining up. There's not really much sense to it. The other thing is, Raven and those people, they were so communicative at the end there with Warzone 1 for the last 8 months. It was like about halfway through Black Ops, I feel like the switch flipped to where they were way more letting the community know, transparent about what's going on. But I feel like we've kind of been in the dark here for these first 3 weeks. Like, they've claimed they patched a lot of these technical issues PC players were getting, and we're like, oh, they're like, you can look at our Trello board to see what we're working on, but there's not really addressing like, hey, we have plans to take a look at the TTK, or like, oh, there's going to be a big weapons balancing, or oh, we know snipers, it's just been fucking radio silence as far as I've seen.
Yes, and I mean, I don't know if you want to cover this in another section, but the fucking pinging in this game, the technical difficulties with alerting your teammates of whether a contract, a person, a location to go to has been a fucking nightmare. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, there's a lot to like about this game, but there's also a lot of very frustrating, just straight up broken or inconsistent things pinging among them. I was in a game today where my live pings weren't showing up. I'm in games routinely where it feels like my teammates, I hear the teammate do a live ping, it does the ting, but there's no visual indicator that we're getting. And it's insanely frustrating because we said in the very first episode of the Warzone Amateur Hour podcast, one of the best features of this fucking game is pinging, and it's essential, especially in a big map battle royale, in big team configurations. And to have that broken, there's a litany of shit going on, but that's definitely near the top. This TTK is getting out of whack, so it's kind of, the game's got so much going for it, but then these little things are really, I feel like, holding it back right now, and people are getting fucking pissed, dude.
I see a lot of tweets from popular streamers that are getting tired of it, They're like, can we please fucking have this fixed? Like, what do we need to do to fix this one simple thing? And I don't know. I mean, what are they working on? What are they working on?
Exactly. And we don't know. And the other thing here on the agenda that we can just kind of tease, because there's not much to it, it goes to this communication thing, is they just announced this week that so we're in season 1. Season 1 Reloaded is set for December 14th, which is only 2 weeks away. So we're already almost through halfway of the inaugural season of Warzone 2. We don't really know where we're at, or like where we're headed, what's going on, what we can expect, which I think launches are huge. First impressions are everything, like, you want that love at first sight, or do you want to have to like go on a bunch of dates to really decide if this is the right one for you? Because like you said, some of these big streamers or content creators say like, I'm not even playing the game, I'm getting so frustrated with it. And it's not the game, it's like play, it's the fucking shit.
Yeah, like trying to invite your friends and it's locked. And it's like, how the fuck do I get into this? Seems like a very important feature. People come on here to play with their friends, and I don't understand the locking. Why?
And then to segue into our next topic, is there stuff that's just straight broken, and then other stuff that's completely glitched and unexplained. And so the first part of that is perks. And we've talked about how, yes, you can have perks if you get your loadout, and you can only choose from a preset selection of perks. But from what I've seen and heard is the ultimate perk slot on your custom loadouts doesn't fucking work. So if you're running Ghost as like, you're choosing that set with Ghost as the ultimate perk, it's not even doing anything. Like, they've tested it from my understanding. And then on the flip side, there's this weird glitch going on that I discovered this week that I can confirm 100% is active as of the time of this recording, which is the theorized that, okay, the ultimate perk slot is broken for your custom loadouts, but when you go to a loadout, you can tab over to default, which are like preset, pre-built, kind of shitty Call of Duty loadouts that are available. And apparently the ultimate perk slot they claim works for that, but it's also bugged, specifically the bird's eye. If you go to the default perk or the default loadouts, the very bottom one will have a set of perks where the ultimate perk is bird's eye. And the way it glitches out right now is if you select that, anytime an enemy on the map, anywhere on the map, calls in a UAV, you get a single pulse of their UAV around you. And so I took advantage of that, ran that. It's fucking bizarre.
So it gives you a little personal UAV whenever somebody uses one.
Yes. And I don't know if you noticed, we were in a quad yesterday and I did it. And I'm like, oh my God, did you guys see that? And everyone on the team was like, no. I'm like, dude, we just got a load up lip. Like, there's a team literally like right here. It was insane.
Wow. That's really good to know.
Yeah. So it's like this weird situation where stuff's broken. We also don't know, are we going to ever be able to build our own custom perk sets? Just no communication, which is very frustrating because I'm enjoying the game so much despite this stuff. But these are big things. This, like, as you know, some of these big streamers have said, this is Activision. This is Call of Duty. This is Warzone. These are all three, like, the AAA, fucking creme de la creme, top of the line shit.
Yeah,
and we're dealing with like indie developer UI glitch shit.
Yeah. I wonder if it's all being waited to fix for the release of the
Reloaded?
The Reloaded, yeah. I mean, like, from a business perspective, I wonder, it's like, all right, well, we had a really successful launch where, like, everyone's playing the game and liking the game. Yes, there's these issues. Well, let's fix that December 14th, and then everyone's going to even be more excited, and then they'll be, you know what I mean? Maybe they're just waiting.
I don't know, but it's like, I feel like they would have communicated that to at least give some reassurance. I'm updating a Trello board is one thing, but like, and then they'll say like, oh, we patched the stuff and the PC crashes should be fixed. But then thousands of PC players are like, I'm still running into them, but they like cleared that off of their QA queue. So you don't really know, like, are they ever going to fix this stuff, or is this just stuff we got to live with? It's a damn shame. It's just a damn shame.
Yeah. I like to think that they're going to get it together, but we'll see. I mean, they're going to take a holiday break soon.
That's the other thing. I mean, right? Yeah. 10 days after this season 1 Reloaded is going to be Christmas. So we talked about it last year when there's all this shit going on in the Vanguard Caldera, launch. And we were like, they're going to be sucking down fucking eggnogs while we're struggling through this for the next few weeks. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully they right the ship. Hopefully they just clear out these bugs. It's really just like bugs and glitches that it's like 80% of the fucking issue with this dumbass game. The TTK, that's a matter of just adjusting some numbers, but this other shit, come on.
How pissed are you going to be if the Reloaded, Season 1 Reloaded comes out and it's just like gun tuning and balancing?
Yeah, I mean, and then they'll probably like nerf my favorite guns too. So then
yeah,
just
like, a double whammy.
Just to take those little joy I have in this fucking game and piss on it. But yeah, we've yet to see. Obviously, you stay tuned here on the Warzone Amateur Hour. We'll bring you the updates. We'll keep track. We'll keep writing in our letters to Activision. I don't know if they're getting lost in the mail or something. I know they listen a lot, but lately, like maybe that all this stuff with Microsoft, they got their people allocated in different places. I don't know, but a lot of distress happening in this community that they need to address. Like, this is like Battlefield level fucking bugs here. The game itself is way more fun than Battlefield, but there's a lot of shit.
Yeah. We'll see.
Well, one topic I want to kind of reflect on here, which I don't know if it's a bug or inconsistent or just crazy, is strongholds. I'm still unsure what the color coding that happens with strongholds is, because the strongholds, when they first are announced, the icons are white on your TAC map, but then at times they turn red, which at first it was like, oh, somebody's done the stronghold or is doing it. I don't know if that's the case, because what I do know now is when somebody does complete a stronghold, they defuse the bomb, they get the first loadout there, that icon just disappears from the map. You can still go back to the stronghold if you find it as a subsequent team, clear out some AI and get your own loadout. But I don't know what's going on with the fucking color coding system. So if anybody out there does, let us know. You got any theories?
Maybe the red means that it's about to come off the map, the icon. Maybe it starts white, then goes red, and then it's gone.
Yeah, like somebody's activated it.
No. Maybe no one's there. It's just like it's only on the map for a certain amount of time, and then like it turns red to let you know this one. Remember this because it's going away. But to the point of strongholds, the AI is fucking hard to beat sometimes. I have died to the AI more times than I'd like to admit. It is strong. You don't just like go push it and be like, yeah, this will be fine. I'm going to take this team out. It's just the AI. No, dude, it's fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know, and if it's they're strong. I mean, they're not weak, but they're just the numbers they throw at you at times is overwhelming. And I've seen now people are saying they'll trigger the AI and they'll follow them over 100 meters away, and they'll be like in a gunfight late in the game. And there's like a fucking AI chasing after them still. So the sheer number of them can be overwhelming. And then they'll helicopter in with like 12 of these fucking people. And you're in the middle of a battle royale game. You don't know what's what. And if you're not the first one out the stronghold, you don't have the luxury of having that like permanent radar beep to kind of tell you if another team's pulling up on you. So that's another thing they need to kind of look at. I just need to better understand, again, this icon. We were confused about the hit marker icons. This is another thing I'm fucking confused about.
Yeah, I too am, I don't know if the strongholds are worth it, frankly. It seems like, you can get your loadout, and that's great and all, but the AI is fucked up, and I've been murked by people that are just almost camping the strongholds, like where like you're like in the heat of a fight with like 30 AI people, guy rolls in, third parties you, over, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think we should do that more, actually.
I think it's a razor's edge. Like, I don't know if across the board I'm just like, oh, I'm over strongholds, because I'm all about trying to get that edge, get those perks. Yeah, my ultimate perk slot doesn't work, but restock definitely still works. And having that late game with snapshots, it's still a game changer. Even with lethals, if you're up on a building trying to, mark those stairs and stuff, that's an edge that I will be willing to go out of the way, kind of risk a little more to get. But that said, yeah, if the stronghold's kind of far away or it's been up there for a while, or I know there's already people converging, I'll probably stay away. But I do think they need to kind of be revisited, maybe dial back this AI shit. And because if you are the first one there, you get your loadout, you have that permanent UAV, you get the bigger backpack, you get gas masks and stuff. Like, that's a fucking pretty nice leg up. I think the rewards are there, but the challenge to unlock those rewards is maybe the bar's a little too high maybe right now.
Yeah, for amateurs like us.
But subsequent from that, which you got your first experience with, is you get the black site key if you complete the first stronghold. And I was like, hey guys, let's do a fucking black site. Because as I said, I think it was my second week on this podcast post Warzone 2 launch. I was in a duos match. We did a stronghold. We got the black site key. And that was back, in the exploratory phase. And we're like, let's do this black site. And me and Paul went to this black site. It seemed like we had to kill like maybe 7 or 8 AI and then the jug. And then we got this incredible loot. It was like large backpacks. We got like durable gas masks, a bunch of them, fucking advanced UAV, which we didn't even know existed. The permanent UAV beep. All like, we were like, damn, this was dope. So then I'm like, hey guys, let's in a quad, let's go do the black site. And we pull up in a boat on the black site. We do a radar blip. I've never seen so many AI in my life, and we tried it. And I don't know if you want to kind of regale the audience with how your black site experience went.
We got fucking slaughtered. It was horrible. Yeah, and I think you were the first one to die. And it was like, we did not have enough ammo. We did not have enough shit. There were so many AI. We weren't in the right position. It was fucking horrible.
Yeah, so one of our teammates died pretty quickly. That was Sparks.
We don't have to
It felt like we fought with AI for what felt like 5 straight minutes. Like, of like Saving Private Ryan level battle, like taking refuge behind walls, rezzing each other. And then I finally do the unlock, use the fight. At that point, I hadn't even unlocked the site, which was insane. And then the jug comes out, and we're in the middle of fighting him, and a second team showed up and killed us.
And I'm sure they got everything.
And I don't know if like they've scaled these to where we were a quad, and that's why, because it was so much easier when I did it as a duo. And again, I don't know if it's like this weird randomized thing or somebody had already showed up there, and so the AI were already out and about, and we just got like double the dose or something. But in terms of staying away, I'll probably stay away from the black sites, but I'm a sucker, though. I'm still going to probably chase them if I got a chance.
You were also with Paul, who's a pretty good player, so he's probably just carrying you through that.
Dude, you can talk to him, see what he thought, but we only kill. It didn't seem that much gnarlier than a normal stronghold. It was literally just like we had to kill this juggernaut guy, which took a little bit, but he's the same kind of juggernaut you fight in the gulag. So yeah, sure, maybe it was Paul, but I mean, he's got the same amount of bullets as I do. It's not, again, with the AI, it's really amount of like, they just keep coming at you and you run out of bullets typically.
They must scale it, They must scale.
Yeah, so I don't know. And I'm wondering, like, as a solo, is it physically even possible to do one?
I don't know.
Jury's still out there. But
I don't know. I don't know. It sounds like a lot of work.
A lot of shit going on with this game here. And kind of as we kind of wrap up here, as is typical, we're always going to, take the mea culpas. If we ever give out false information, we're going to let you know what's real, what's right. And I got to have 2 corrections to issue this week, thanks to our Discord users who notified me. So whether it was last week or the week prior, we talked about the public loadout drops. And I said, yeah, well, the first team that gets them, they get the loadout, and then they're the only one that gets it. That is incorrect, which I've since learned both from the users notifying me and me just in playing the game. Those public loadouts stay on the map after the first team gets it. It's just the icon disappears.
Got it. So that's why you got to mark them and remember where they are.
Yes, roughly speaking so. And what's also weird is if your first teammate gets it, the icon disappears then too. And it's like, well, they got to fucking remember like exactly where this thing is for even their teammates. So that's another like UI ping type of situation. Like, why are they making this shit so hard?
Yeah, I wonder why they don't fix the pings. That would help everything.
Like the loadout's already hard enough to fucking get. Now I got to like memorize its exact location on the goddamn map unless I'm the very first one there.
You roll your eyes.
I'm a loadout guy, all right? I like the perks. I like the fucking loadout. I want to get my loadout, and I want the stronghold and the black site.
Well,
make it easy.
You can't have everything in this game, unfortunately.
Other correction is way back correction. Talking doesn't even fucking apply to Warzone, but I got to issue it. It was weeks and weeks back. I said, hey, you can switch from kill streaks to score streaks. It's better for amateurs. It's just based off your score playing the objective, and then if you die, it doesn't matter. It still keeps stacking. Incorrect. When you die with a score streak, that resets as well. So apologies for that. Wanted to correct that.
A lot of corrections this episode.
Just 2.
Yeah, it's a lot. We strive for perfection.
Right. And then the other thing going on, we've talked about bugs and glitches and exploits in Warzone. Well, DMZ's just as fucking rife with them. There's a money glitch, which I still don't know if it's been patched, but there's a way in DMZ where it's incredibly easy to essentially get infinite money. You get like $1 million, each of your teammates. And then so players have found ways to, there's like these dumpsters where you can like stash money in DMZ. So you can use that to essentially level up a gun almost instantaneously. And so there's some insane clips of dudes literally just like driving around dropping hundreds and hundreds of bags of money, or going to a buy streak and buying, like you sent the clip, they bought like 50 of the vehicles that you can call in DMZ from a. So there's just so much out of whack.
Yeah,
Your thoughts on that?
Insane clip, yeah. And I'm assuming you get XP when you buy stuff, and that's how you level things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we should try that.
I mean, the other glitch that happened was, so Most Wanted were in the game, and then people discovered there was like an XP glitch where, if you opened a crate right when a Most Wanted contract expires, it would glitch out and give you like quadruple the XP. Like you get like 16,000 XP from just completing a Most Wanted. So they reintroduced Most Wanted contracts. People immediately found that exploit was still live. So what happened? They got yanked out of the game. The money glitch, as far as I know, still going on. I talked about that loadout bird's eye glitch still going on. So the list of fixes is piling up here.
We just cross our fingers and pray for that reloaded update.
But otherwise, again, that's what's so astonishing. I'm still excited for the next time I hop in. I'm still having a lot of fun. The proximity chat, week in and week out, bringing a lot of joy. Although you seem like you've pivoted, you've moved away from enabling proximity chat. Do you want to discuss that here?
I just was getting killed a lot from it. I just am always talking. I don't have the like wherewithal to know that there's other people around me, and I was just getting fucking murked all the time. And so I turned it off, and to be honest, I'm still getting murked. So maybe I'll turn it back on. I was just trying something different to see if it helped, but it wasn't. So it's definitely more fun when you have it on. That's for sure.
Yeah, more fun. I'm starting to come and accept the idea that I think overall it's probably a disadvantage. But on the flip side, when you hear someone and know they're in the area, it's valuable. So
Wish they had Discord for fucking PlayStation 5.
Well, the other thing is in the gulag, being able to talk amongst your gulag people, that becomes valuable. Like that's kind of almost imperative. So what it seems like we've been doing in terms of our friends when we run bigger team configs is like half of the people will have it off, the other half will on. And then you can kind of be like, if you have it on, you're like the conduit who can like speak between realms, you know, you're like fucking Whoopi Goldberg and Ghost or whatever. Or I don't know if she was in Ghost, but you know, you can kind of like, hey, I hear them. And then people can talk to you, and it gets interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sticking with it just because it is so fun. I'm having such fun little interactions. Like the other day, I played duos. I killed the shit out of this guy while he literally didn't move when I shot him. And then I hear him, and he's like, "Oh fuck, I had my map up."
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah.
So,
I should turn it back on. I probably will turn it back on.
Someone like you, I mean, we just uploaded a clip today, 2 days before this episode went live, or set to go live, where I can't hear what the other people are saying, but I hear you talking to them. You're like asking, you know, guess how big it is. I got touting your, you know, blah, 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 yelling at people. And the game needs that, man. They need you. The people need this voice chat.
All right. I'll turn it back on moving forward.
But, you know, like I was saying, still so much to like about this game. It's just these little things that it's kind of like the launch week of, honestly, Modern Warfare multiplayer, like where you couldn't invite friends and shit. So I don't know. Gotta hope fixes are on the horizon because there's so much to build off of. You know, we're finding our weapons. The Cowboys may be moving away from sniping. The diversity of weapons is huge out there. I don't feel like there's an absolute meta where you're at a disadvantage if you're not running it. So a lot to like, but also a fuck ton to fix.
Amen.
And that, I believe, is really going to do it for us this week on the Warzone Amateur Hour podcast. That said, I think it was our first time this week. You and I got into our own gulag together. I believe we won. It was cool doing that.
I killed both people. Yes, I remember. Double kill.
You did? Yeah, I'm definitely more and more of a fan of this new gulag. Just the whole experimentation thing with it. Some other stuff to work out. Apparently, anytime I'm bought back now, I should not float and try and play smart. I'll just be like a fucking little stray dog running after you into, you know, fall in a hearse into the fucking death zone.
Yes, that's exactly right. Yes.
All right.
Or we could have bought a UAV.
Well, I don't know about that. You're gonna have to fucking have some evidence to back that up. So maybe we'll have an update on that next week, and that's when we are going to talk to you all. And until then,
Good luck in the gulag.